Okay, so if you are given the equation y is equal to 1 minus ax to the power b, how do we find a and b given that this is a diagram for the same equation? Log of 1 minus y. In the y and in the x we have log x. And those are the coordinates. Okay? Now this is just part, as you can see that this is a straight line, of course. It should hit up somewhere the y-axis there, but this is just part of the line. Okay, so how do we find a and b? So from the word go, we can first find gradient, right? Because to be easiest, since we have these two coordinates. Okay, and of course the gradient, this line is sloping down. Okay, so whichever we start with does really not matter. Okay, so if you want, we can start with 0, then you say minus 2 over 3 minus 1, which will give us what? Negative 1. So this is a gradient. All right, now how do we find the equation based on the coordinate system that we've been given? The y is log 1 minus y, so that will be our y. Log, remember, y is equal to mx plus c. In this case, our y is log 1 minus y is equal to, gradient remain the same. X is log x, then plus c. Alright, so here we're going to maintain it just the way it is. So we're going to have lg 1 minus y. M is negative 1. Then we have lgx here plus 1. Now, let's go back to the coordinate system. If these are our first coordinate system, 1, 2, we can get any, remember? So if we get a 1, 2, this one becomes our x, comes our y. Therefore, the whole of this can be represented by y2. The whole of this can be represented by x, so this will just be negative 1 plus c. We can find c. So 2 plus 1 is equal to c, so c is equal to 3. Having found c, then we can go and say lg 1 minus y is just equal to what? Negative lg x plus what? 3. Then we can solve for y. Alright, we can solve for y. So how do we solve for y? So we can collect these terms together and we have that. And of course, these terms are adding there, so it means they are multiplying now. You can just put them like that because they will multiply. By the laws of logarithms, that addition is telling us that these two are multiplying each other. And well, of course, now we can express this into exponential, where we get 1 minus y, then x equal to, of course, LG is just a base 10, so that would be 10 to the power 3 in exponential form. And this will be 1 minus y multiplied by x, and this will give us 1000. Are we there? Alright, then we can expand here. We get x minus xy is equal to 1000. After expanding, you can see that, well, xy can remain the side. Alright, and of course, this negative can be divided throughout. That's not a problem. So x goes there minus this one. If you divide negative throughout, you end up having something like this. So we need to get y. This is the reason why I'm making y the subject to the formula. And I'll divide x throughout. This will give me 1, and this will give me that over x. And what we have is just the same as 1 minus 1000. X is a fraction, so this can be the same as negative 1. Get the concept, right? Which corresponds to this equation. You see, right? Which corresponds to that equation. Our equation was y equal to 1 minus ax b. So compare this with that, you discover that your a is just 1000 and your B is just -1. Boom.